Next up, at UFC 282, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Paddy Pimblett taking on Jared Gordon. Paddy Pimblett, 19-3 overall, 5-0 in his last 5. He is riding a nice 3-fight UFC win streak. Jared Gordon is 19-5 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off the absolute destruction of Leonardo Santos. And at this point, we all know who Paddy is, right? He's a fun, pretty well-rounded guy, and he's coming off that win over Jordan Leavitt, where everybody was talking about how Paddy, he better keep it standing. He better keep it standing, because if he's on the ground with Jordan Leavitt, he's going to be in trouble. And then he submitted Jordan Leavitt. Leavitt, whatever. And then he went ahead and submitted Jordan Leavitt. And people are forgetting that Paddy is actually a grappler. That's his background. He's a grappler that goes out there and he's had some fun and some success striking, but his chin is up, and maybe he shouldn't be striking as much as he does sometimes. But Paddy's got some power in his hands. He's got some grappling. He's proven to be a well-rounded guy. And, he has some tools to be the next big thing, especially personality-wise. And he's taking on Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon's a very good wrestler. He's got solid pressure, solid striking. He does bounce sort of between weight classes. He's probably going to be a little undersized in this fight because he bounces between featherweight and lightweight. So he's not going to be as big as Paddy. But he likes to come forward with flurries and then look for a takedown. He averages almost 2 takedowns per fight, but he can be out-grappled, right? He'll get the takedowns, but he can be out-jiu-jitsu'd. Grant Dawson out-wrestled him. Joe Solecki out-grappled him. And he's coming off that win over Leonardo Santos where he defended 3 takedowns, which were sloppy, but he got 5 times as many strikes. He landed 5 times as many strikes. I think Paddy wins. I know a lot of people think Paddy wins. A lot of people have Paddy as sort of a parlay piece here.
Tentpole.
Not me. My only concern is Jordan Leavitt took Paddy down 3 times. And Jordan Leavitt sucks at takedowns.
Ooh.
Jared Gordon does not suck at takedowns, and he could be a wet blanket for 15 minutes. That's the one thing that worries me here. That's why Paddy's not in a parlay for me. I do think he wins, but there's a very real possibility where Jared Gordon is a straight-up wet blanket. Again, Jordan Leavitt sucks at takedowns. Sucks at it. He got 3. That's my concern. What do you think?
He doesn't suck at takedowns. It's pretty disrespectful you say that, but he was out wrestling. He was out wrestling. No, whether he does or he doesn't, he was out wrestling Paddy. That went to the second round, and every single cage position, it was Leavitt that was controlling those positions, and Paddy out scrambled him for the submission win. So yes, I disagree with your terminology and the way you're speaking about Jordan Leavitt, but the truth of the matter was he was getting out wrestled at times by Jordan Leavitt. But Jordan Leavitt is I think he's a better controlling type grappler than Jared Gordon. And as I mentioned earlier, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you like the stream, by the way. But if you guys are just tuning in, before we were talking about Raul, right? And I mentioned that the UFC props up their boys, their prospects, and they give them matchups that are favorable to them. Doesn't mean that they can't lose, but they're favorable matchups. And this is another one with Jared Gordon, a very favorable matchup for Paddy because he's not super dangerous. Jared Gordon is tough as shit. Right, and his story, if you guys don't know his story, watch the UFC Countdown with Paddy and Jared Gordon. The guy was an addict, on drugs, in jail, everything, came back and turned his life around. So hats off to Jared Gordon because his story is incredible, and he's a super tough dude. And I don't know if Paddy's going to put him away, just like I don't know if Raul's going to put Jay Perrin away. I'm playing these a little bit safer than I know a lot of people are like, oh, Paddy's going to submit him. It's going to be easy wins. Jared Gordon's very tough. And I don't know if Paddy's going to put him away, but he's not super dangerous. And if you're not super dangerous against high-level grapplers and people that are dangerous like Paddy Pimblett, it's bad news. Even if it goes to a decision, you're going to get beat on, you're going to get out-grappled, you're going to get, in the judge's eyes, the aggressive fighter is going to win. And that's how I see this matchup going. Jared Gordon is tough. He's got a high guard. He's going to take the shots. He's probably going to maybe not even get submitted, but it's going to be Paddy that's pushing the pressure, pushing the pace, winning the scrambles, and in the judge's eyes, if it goes to a decision, they can even be biased too by the crowd. It's going to be a Paddy decision. Maybe he finds a finish as well. So I'm Paddy all the way. I think this was a matchup made for him, and he should absolutely dominate just like Raul and just like the main event coming up.
I hear you. Listen, I'm not anti-Paddy. I like Paddy quite a bit. I do think he wins this fight. This is not like a rant, like, oh, you can't. There is if I do a parlay, it's like in my mind, I don't even really see a path necessarily for the other person. There's a path for Jared, and we just watched Paddy get taken down a few times. That's the only thing that worries me because Jared's a very good wrestler. So I agree. I think Paddy wins. He is not in the premium member safety parlay. I did not put him in there. If you like him, then go ahead and mix up the parlay. My 2 leg is going to hit guaranteed. If you don't like the 3rd leg, put Paddy in the 3rd leg.
Holy shit, what a jinx that was. My God, we're going to get destroyed now.
If the 2 leg doesn't hit, then, it is crazy. And the premium member parlay, if you don't know, we talk about premium membership. We talk about everything you get with your $10. It's only $10. One of the things you get is a parlay. Every single week we do a 2, 3, and a 4-leg premium member-only parlay. And the last 4 weeks, that parlay, if you put 1 unit on each leg, the parlay is up 11-something units. And I do not factor that in to the 51 units I say that we're up. The premium parlay is its own thing, and I let it be its own thing. But it's been doing well. It's been hitting. The first 2 legs have been absolutely crushing. We've been getting to the 3rd leg, and the 4th leg did miss last week. What?
I will say that Paddy on the embeds and stuff looks incredible. It looks like he is like already on weight and looks a lot leaner than I've seen him on fight weeks in the past. So I think he's really taken this stuff a lot more serious than people give him credit for, man. I think he really wants to be an actual champion and is working hard to chase those dreams. He's a good dude.
I hope so. I like, first of all, that Ring doorbell video is one of the best videos we've ever seen. Just ringing some bell at night. My dog took a sloppy shit in your yard. Do you have a hose? I'll hose it off.
Can you try to do the accent? Have you ever tried to do an accent?
I do my mother's all the time. I literally just
all the time too.
I just walk around doing her little old lady Italian accent. She's not old actually. She's like 60. Anyway, $9,100 in DraftKings. If you're on one of these people in the comment section talking about guaranteed going to get a submission, then go for it. Personally, I'm going to have to look at it. I don't think so. What do you think?
I think he dominates this either. I mean, Jared Gordon is a guy that's tough, but he throws that high guard up and just kind of eats shots. And Paddy isn't a super technical striker, but he will wing some shots, and he might go straight from that into a submission or something. I'm going to give credit to Jared Gordon's toughness, and I'm not really playing inside the distance stuff for Paddy, but as far as DraftKings goes, I think it's great value at 9,100.
I was saying I wanted to do inside the distance decision, no action on Paddy, because I think there's a world where he loses a wrestling decision, but there's not a world really where he gets finished. The problem is those odds were not good enough for me to touch, so I didn't do it.
Minus 400.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I would do minus 250, and actually minus 400 is crazy because when I looked at it earlier, it was like 300 or something. It wasn't all the way up there yet. Anyway, $9,100. If you want to do it, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to. I think Paddy wins this fight. I'm worried about the wrestling a little bit. I think the odds, there's probably decent value in those odds as well. Again, I'm just worried about the wrestling a little bit. Monkey Knife Fight strike line 44-61. What do you think about that?
I think it's a safer more.
I think so too. I think this goes to a decision. I don't think Paddy's going to just submit him real quick. So I do think it goes to a decision, and I think Jared Gordon's going to bring the heat. Jared Gordon knows how important this fight is and getting a win here if he can get one.
Plus 145. You playing that?
What? That it goes to a decision?
Yeah, it just said it did.